Hey y'all, and welcome to the Stewards Ledger, where we budget with purpose and live with joy. I'm Alicia, a wife, mom, teacher, and now your budgeting bestie, walking this faithful finance journey right alongside you. I'm on a mission to get out of debt, build wealth, and honor God with my money, and I just wanted to bring you along on that journey. So if you're ready to steward your finances with faith, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. All right, y'all. So in today's video, we're going to be walking through our current financial goals and exactly how we're going to be reaching them. So I'll be using this simple goal planning template to talk through each one of our goals. And if you want to use it as well, you can grab it from the description box below. I posted the link down there for you. And I'm going to be doing all of my budgeting and planning digitally. And so if you want to as well, I'll be trying my best to post all of the links of all the templates that I use in the description box for the video that the template is used in. So go down there, look for that template if you want to use the same one that I'm using. But for this video, whichever method you prefer, whether that's a notebook, a planner, or the printout that I have in the description, let's just do our goals together. All right, let's get into it. So our first goal is going to be to completely fund our $1,000 emergency fund. And this is because this is our safety net. Before we do anything else, we want this to come first. All right, so the steps that we're going to take in order to complete this, we're going to use our last two checks in June to fund it. We're not going to start early in June because we already did our budget for June and the funds just, aren't matching up that much like we want them to. So we're going to use our last two checks in June to fund our $1,000 emergency fund. Our next goal is to prioritize savings immediately after bills and before cash stuffing. We want to set aside the emergency fund before we spend anything else to make sure that saving is a priority and not an afterthought, right? So this way we can knock out baby step one by the end of June and roll into July fully protected by that $1,000 fund. So our final step for this one is going to be to lower our cash envelope amounts just a little bit for the month of July, because our last two checks of June actually go towards July. Let me know in the comments if I need to further explain that, but so we want to lower our cash envelopes for the month of July. Goal number 2 is going to be to begin baby step number 2, which is paying off all of our debt using the snowball method. Once the emergency fund is in place, then it'll be time to face our debt, y'all, smallest to largest, which is the snowball method. And so we do have a few steps that we're going to be taking in order to meet this goal. And the first one is going to be to list all of our debts on our snowball tracker, which we've already done. And I'll show y'all that in a later video, but that's definitely, I want to make sure that those are correct as we go into that step. I'm gonna try to keep them updated, as we pay off our minimums and everything, because right now we're not attacking it as much as we will when we're actually on that step. But when we do get on that step, I do want to make sure our trackers are current, so I don't have to go in and re-enter a bunch of numbers, So that is our first step. We're going to be entering our numbers into our debt tracker. All right, so then our next step is going to be paying off our minimums towards all of our debts except for the smallest one. And then that leads me to the third step, which is to apply all of our extra money, or focus all of our extra money on that smallest debt first, so that we can pay it down as quickly as possible. Then we come to our third goal. Our third goal is to save for an upcoming trip that we have. I know it sounds backwards to be saving for a trip while we are trying to get out of debt, but honestly, for us, travel is still happening. But we're just paying for it with cash and not really creating any new debt for it. So we're saving for a trip back to my home state. We're going there for Thanksgiving in November. And so I want to save for that. So that way we'll be able to fund everything as it comes closer. So our next goal is to be saving for the trip to Maryland, which is where I'm from, for November. So the steps that we are going to take for saving and everything like that, we're going to have a dedicated sinking fund or dedicated savings account for this trip, which we already do have. Like, we have a general vacation fund, and so we'll most likely just save for this trip in that fund. So our first step, which we've kind of already accomplished, is to have a dedicated savings account for this fund. All right, then we're going to, of course, fund it gradually. And I want to use like the leftover or extra money that we don't use in our cash envelopes. So if I have like extra grocery money that we didn't use at the grocery store, save that towards the November trip. And things like that. That's actually exciting to think about, because that makes me think about the savings challenges that we're going to get into as we get further into the channel. And as I get, our budget more established and, used to it, then we'll create some savings challenges and things like that. But for this one, we're going to use our extra leftover money in our cash envelopes to go towards savings, so that we can go on this trip and make sure that it's getting funded. Of course, that's probably not going to be a bunch of money, especially if it's bi-weekly, and maybe like a couple $100s a month in between now and November. And we really have to buy the tickets before November. So July, August, maybe September. So 3 months. We have 3 months to save for me, Tim, our son Asa, and our daughter Adaya to fly on the plane. So yeah, and usually the kids are free, so it shouldn't really affect them. But for us, hopefully the flights aren't like $500 and $600 per ticket, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. So yes, that's gonna be our next step. Save leftover cash envelope. Cash from cash envelopes. From envelopes. Okay. All right, so that's our second step. And then our last step is going to be to stick to the budget that we create each month. We have to stick to the budget that we create every month. That's kind of why we are where we are, where I wasn't consistent with this channel and all that. We weren't sticking to the budget. We weren't sticking to our plan. And so now, hopefully with you all holding me accountable and what I have to present to you guys every month and every, 2 weeks and whatnot, then we will stick to our budget. But if we don't stick to this budget, we cannot do any of this. So that is going to be, I should have put that as goal number 1, but to stick to the budget that we create each month and for each check. All right, so two more, y'all. We have two more goals. All right, so goal number 4 is to build the habit of monthly and bi-weekly budgeting along with sticking to it. Like that in itself is a goal. Just building and sticking to a monthly budget will help us accomplish all of these goals. So honestly, this should be goal number 1. Because without this goal, we can't do anything else. Like we can't save an emergency fund. We can't pay off debt. We can't save for our trips. Having a monthly, and I would say per paycheck, not just bi-weekly. Ours happens to be bi-weekly this month, but per paycheck, we have to budget every dollar that comes in, when it comes in, or right before it comes in and whatnot, so that it has a plan, or else all of this is for nothing and it's just gonna be spent all willy-nilly and crazy like. So I'm gonna see if I can make this. Y'all, I'm extra. I have to do this for my thinking. We're gonna move these down. This is why I like digital budgeting, y'all, because it's a lot faster than so these lines are not the same length. That's interesting, but that's okay. We're just gonna edit them real quick. So hang tight real quick while I edit this, y'all. All right, so it's just gonna bug me to not have them in some kind of order. So up here in the top, we're going to put create monthly, and I'm going to say per paycheck. Paycheck budgets. All right. All right, so we're creating monthly and paycheck budgets. The steps that we're going to take in order to do this, the first one is to actually create that zero-based budget. And the budget has to be zero-based because we want a plan for every single dollar. We want a place for every single dollar to go. So I know we already put create monthly and paycheck budgets, but I specifically want it to be a zero-based budget. Okay, so all right. And again, this is kind of something that we've already done, but the goal is to stick with it. The main goal that I want to have here is to stick with it. So I want to keep this here to keep reminding me, like, you have to make a budget. You need a budget. You got to have a budget. You know what I'm saying? So I want to keep that here because, like, we're already doing this now. Like, we've created June's budget. We budgeted in May, but May was kind of like, we didn't stick to it very well. But June, so far so good. We've been sticking to it, and we've been doing it, y'all. So hopefully we're good. But yeah, so first thing first, make it a zero-based budget. The next thing we need to do is, for me, is use actual, tangible, physical cash envelopes for our variable expenses. So for gas, for groceries, for the kids and things that we might need to get really quick for the kids, for any spending I want to do, like on my hair products or for makeup and things like that. I don't really wear much makeup, but that was just an example. For those type of things, I need to have an envelope for, because variable expenses are things that are not necessary or needed and that the amounts change for. Like, you can spend a whole bunch one month, but not want to spend anything the next month, or not need to spend anything the next month out of these envelopes. And so I need them tangible so that once the money is gone, the money is gone. If I have it on my card, I will swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe. And that's just the real for me. I will swipe my card. Once I take the bills out, like, we have a separate account for our bills. And I'll also talk about this in another video, how we set up our payments and all that kind of stuff. But thankfully, we have a separate account for our bills, because if we didn't, I would just swipe and swipe and swipe. Next thing you know, a light bill is going off. Our lights are going off. Our water's going off and things like that. So just being real and being honest, like, I don't know if it was a spending addiction or if it was just negligence or, not just paying attention and just wanting things. I just wasn't paying attention to our spending and how much I was spending, especially when I was eating out and like going to fast food restaurants on lunch while I'm at work and stuff like that. I just wasn't paying attention to my spending. And so having that tangible cash will force me to be disciplined and say, okay, I only have $20 to eat out this week, or, left. I only have $20 left to eat out. Do I want to spend it today? Do I want to spend it tomorrow? Do I want to hold on to it? Like, you get more, you begin to cherish money more when it's like about to be gone, or at least I do. So that's going to be my next goal, is going to be to have cash envelopes for my variable expenses. And lastly, we're going to have to review our finances together, my husband and me, bi-weekly, because we need to track everything and make sure that everything is serving its purpose, and being used for what it's supposed to be used for, and that we're not just like spending anything willy-nilly and crazy. Again, I'll be using cash envelopes, so that shouldn't happen. My husband will be using a card, but it'll be his card, so he has his own bank account, so it'll be his card. He can spend his money how he wants to. I do have like a certain amount for each category going to us, but for situations like his, where the whole amount is going into his account, whatever he wants to use it for, he uses it for, as long as, he tries to keep something for gas and groceries and the kids and things like that. Everything else, if he wants to eat out, if he wants to buy a pair of shoes, whatever it is, he buys that with his money, and that kind of thing. So again, we'll talk about that once we are doing our budget. I'll go into that a little more when we actually set our budget and work through that. I'll talk about exactly how we break things down, where things go, how we, all the tea. I'll get y'all all the tea. But yes, so our last step is going to be reviewing our expenses bi-weekly. So before every check, it might be weekly sometimes, because there will be times where our checks will come in different weeks. So basically, we're going to review our expenses before our next check is supposed to come. Okay. So really quick, I did have some honorable mentions for the steps that we'll be taking for creating monthly goals, or creating a monthly budget and a paycheck budget. And some of those honorable mentions will be to film and post our monthly budget setups and closeouts every week, so that way I can be held accountable. We want to treat budgeting like a spiritual discipline and a way to stay accountable. So that means I will need you guys to be on me about posting and giving content and making sure I'm uploading and all of that. I'm going to get acclimated to recording and editing and all that kind of stuff. But in July, I'm thinking about adding another day, because right now the way that my schedule is, or like my posting schedule, it'll just be monthly budgets, paycheck budgets, and cash stuffings. And quite frankly, I think that's kind of boring. So I wanted to make sure to be able to sprinkle in some other content, like those fun vlogs and family budgeting and family spending and trips and things like that. So my posting schedule will be Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So that was just a little sidebar. But that's like an honorable mention for staying consistent with creating that budget. I'm going to have to film creating my budget, so that way you guys can see and be on the journey with me when it comes to us, staying consistent, right? All right, so last goal, y'all. The last goal. I know y'all like, she just rambling on. I gotta work on this. I gotta work on not rambling sometimes. But the last goal is to actually grow this channel and build a purpose-driven community, right? This channel is a part of our financial vision as well. It's not just creative, it's kingdom work, right? So my prayer is that what I show on this channel and what I do for this channel or on this channel will then inspire others to trust God fully with your finances and to keep God at the center of your finances, and understanding that prayer works, that stewardship is important. Because a big thing that you will find out as a Christian, for those who are Christians, is that if God feels like he can trust you with a little, he would then give you a lot. And that's in the literal sense of money, but that's also in like our lives and the different like purposes that he tasks us with. If we can't handle something as small to something as small as helping a homeless person, or buying a friend who doesn't have lunch, buying them lunch, or the small things, and stewarding well and helping others and loving others the way that Christ loved the church. If we can't do those small things, then why would God trust us with much more? And why would he trust us with abundance? You know what I'm saying? So this channel is meant more than just to show you guys my budget, right? It's also about stewardship. And that's why it's called the Steward's Ledger, because it's way more than just the numbers and all of that. So this last goal is to grow this channel and this community. And the steps that I will be taking to do so are to share real numbers and real progress with you guys on the channel. I want to be transparent and honest, because honesty is stewardship. Being honest with where you are, being honest with your tendencies, like me spending and my spending habits and things like that. Being honest is a part of stewardship. So first thing is going to be showing real numbers and real progress. Then I'm also, of course, that goes hand in hand with posting consistently, inviting you all to join me in this journey, and inviting you all to show up for yourselves as well. And then the final step is I'm going to be chatting it up with y'all. I'm going to be using all of your comments, all of your questions and things from you guys as checkpoints and motivation for this journey. So based upon what you guys might be asking for, or where you all might be in your journey, where I am in my journey, that all coincides. And I'll be looking at y'all's comments and questions to then make sure I stay in communication with you guys and just stay motivated together in order to build, So the last step is going to be stay in communication. Let's say stay in communication with TSL. And that just means you guys, the Steward Ledger. Just staying in communication with you all, making sure that everyone is good on this journey. All right. I definitely want to use this space as both accountability and preferably an eventual stream of income. So that's another reason why I have that on here, like growing the community. Eventually, hopefully this will be another stream of income, which is also going to have to be stewarded, right? So yeah, these are all of our goals, y'all. These are the current things that we are going to be working on. I hope you all will share your goals with me in the comments so that I can pray for you and cheer you on. This journey isn't just about numbers, it's about faith and growth and just doing life with other people, right? I can't wait to see us knock out these goals and come back and look at this like, period, we killed it, So I thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. I really hope you all got something out of this and that it blessed you and helped you set up your own goals. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, turn on your notification bell so that you won't miss another video. I hope you guys stay on this journey with me for as long as you can. Y'all, let's keep budgeting with purpose and living with joy. Can't wait to see you again. Love y'all.